I am chosen for overflow. Not just enough, not barely sufficient, not scraping by and calling it gratitude. I am chosen for overflow. I was selected before I drew my first breath for a life that spills over, pours out, runs beyond every border fear tried to draw around me. I was not created to measure my portions. I was not fashioned to ration my blessings. I was not born into this world to live in the narrow corridor of just enough. The very nature of the spirit that formed me is overflow. The very law under which I live is abundance without limit, without ceiling, without edge. And today, I stand in that knowing. Today, I speak from that truth. Today, I declare, with every cell in my body, with every thought in my mind, with every pulse of my spirit, I am chosen for overflow. I do not arrive at this truth through effort. I do not earn this truth through striving. I was chosen before the striving began. I was selected before the question was ever asked. Before I knew what lack was, before I learned to be afraid, before the world taught me to be small, I was already chosen. The choosing happened in a place before time, in a realm where divine mind holds every perfect pattern, every complete design, every finished and whole expression of a life fully lived. And the pattern that was designed for me was never poverty. It was never barely. It was never the long, anxious waiting at the edge of empty. The pattern was overflow. The design was more than enough. The finished picture, held complete in the divine mind, is a life so full it cannot be contained, so rich it cannot be measured, so blessed it cannot be explained by the world's arithmetic. I now choose to believe this. I now choose to receive this. I now step fully into this truth, and I let every old belief fall away from me, the way dead leaves fall from a living tree. They fall not because the tree is sick, they fall because the tree is growing, and I am growing. I am releasing the dead weight of every thought that told me I was not chosen, every memory that whispered I was overlooked, every season of lack that convinced me overflow was for other people, not for me. I release it all now. I let it fall. I let it go. I do not cling to it. I do not grieve it. I bless it, and I release it, and I step forward into the truth of who I am and who I was always meant to be. I am chosen for overflow. There is a word that Florence Scovel Shinn understood that the world has tried to forget, and that word is this: the game of life is not played by those who struggle hardest. It is won by those who speak the right word, stand in the right truth, and refuse to be moved by appearances. I refuse to be moved by appearances. I look at the bank account, and I do not panic. I look at the calendar, and I do not despair. I look at the circumstances, and I do not bow my head in defeat. I lift my eyes above the facts, and I fix them upon the truth, and the truth stands firm. The truth does not shift with the market. The truth does not change with the season. The truth does not waver when the news is loud and the numbers are low. The truth is eternal. The truth is this: I am chosen for overflow. And what has been chosen for me by divine mind cannot be canceled by human circumstance. I now speak to every area of my life where lack has been living as though it had a right to stay. I speak to it with authority. I speak to it with calm. I do not scream at lack in panic. I do not beg it to leave. I simply declare the truth, and truth displaces every lie. So I declare now: lack has no home in my life. Limitation has no address here. Fear of not enough has no authority over my days. I evict every lie of poverty from the rooms of my consciousness. I sweep clean every corner where worry has been nesting. I open every window and let the light of divine truth pour in. And the light I let in is this: I am chosen for overflow. Not someday, not eventually, not when I have proven enough, or earned enough, or suffered enough. Now, right now, in this moment, in this breath, in this word I am speaking. I am chosen for overflow now. I speak to my finances. I speak to every account, every stream of income, every channel through which money flows into my life, and I declare, you are blessed. You are increasing. You are under divine law. and divine law is the law of multiplication. Every dollar I have is seed in divine soil. Every cent that passes through my hands is blessed by the word I speak over it. I do not speak lack over my money. I do not rehearse poverty over my income. I do not tell the story of not enough as though it is the final chapter, because it is not the final chapter. It is not even a true chapter. It was always a lie, and I no longer speak lies over my life. I speak truth. And truth says, I am chosen for overflow. Truth says, large sums of money find me easily and naturally. Truth says, unexpected income arrives from sources I have not yet imagined. Truth says, every financial need I have is already met in divine mind, and what is already met in divine mind must manifest in the physical world, because the inner always becomes the outer. The invisible always becomes the visible, and the word spoken in faith never returns void. I know this. I trust this. I rest in this. And I rest is the word I want to stay with for a moment, because the world has confused rest with laziness, stillness with weakness, peace with passivity. But Florence knew, and I know, that the greatest work is often the stillest work. The greatest power moves in the quietest channels. The most effective prayer is the one spoken without desperation, without clutching, without the tight fists of fear. The prayer that moves mountains is the prayer of the open hand, the settled heart, the mind that no longer doubts because it has chosen knowing over worrying. I have chosen knowing. I am done with worrying as a way of life. I am done with anxiety as my default posture. I am done with rehearsing catastrophe, as though rehearsal protects me from it. It does not protect me. It invites it. What I rehearse, I reinforce. What I reinforce, I attract. And so I now rehearse overflow. I now reinforce abundance. I now rehearse the life I am chosen for, and I attract it with every word I speak, every thought I think, every breath I take in peace. I am chosen for overflow. Let me speak now to those places in my spirit that have been worn down by waiting. Those quiet places inside me that hoped for so long and watched the hope seem to go unanswered, and began to wonder, quietly, in the small dark hours, whether the promise was real, whether the choosing was true, whether overflow was truly written for someone like me, or whether it belonged to another category of person, a more worthy person, a more prepared person, a person who had not made the mistakes I had made, had not taken the wrong turns I had taken, had not wasted the years I sometimes felt I had wasted. I speak to those worn places now. I speak to them with the voice of divine truth, and I say this: your mistakes did not disqualify you. Your detours did not disqualify you. Your delays did not disqualify you. Your doubts did not disqualify you. The choosing did not happen because of your perfection. The choosing happened because of the divine nature within you. And divine nature does not revoke its choice based on human imperfection. Divine nature does not cancel its covenant because you stumbled. The overflow was not given as a reward for flawlessness. It was given as an expression of divine law. And divine law does not bend for human failure. It stands firm. It stands always. It stands for you now. I am chosen for overflow, and the past cannot change that choosing. Now I want to speak about what overflow actually means. Not overflow as a vague spiritual feeling. Not overflow as a distant hope. Overflow as a present reality, as a lived experience, as a daily truth. Overflow means that when a need arises, the answer is already there before I finish asking. Overflow means that when a door closes, 3 more open, and one of them leads somewhere better than I had originally planned. Overflow means that when I give freely, even from what seems like little, it returns multiplied, because the law of circulation is always working, and I am always in the flow of that law. Overflow means that my cup is never empty, because I am connected to a source that never runs dry. Overflow means that what other people call impossible is simply what the divine has not yet revealed to my human eyes. Overflow means that I stop counting and start trusting. I stop measuring and start receiving. I stop rationing and start flowing. I am chosen for this. For the stopped counting and the started trusting. For the released measuring and the welcomed receiving. For the life that does not hoard in fear, but pours out in faith, because it knows the source replenishes what is poured. It always has, it always will. And I know this now, in a way that goes deeper than thought. It goes down into my bones. It settles in my spirit. It moves through my blood like a quiet river, and it says, "You are chosen. You are chosen. You are chosen for overflow." And here is what else I know. I know that the overflow is not just financial. I speak to money, and I speak boldly, because money is a tool, and a tool should serve the one who holds it. But I do not reduce overflow to money alone. Overflow is health that goes beyond the absence of sickness into the presence of vibrant, energetic, joyful aliveness. Overflow is relationships that fill me rather than drain me, that speak life rather than death, that honor the divine in me rather than diminish it. Overflow is peace of mind that no news can shatter, that no crisis can dissolve, that no person's opinion can take away. Overflow is creative ideas that come flowing in faster than I can capture them, each one a seed of something beautiful and useful and meaningful. Overflow is time, the sense of being held in divine rhythm, where I am never rushing in panic or waiting in boredom, but always moving in exactly the right pace for exactly the right moment. Overflow is joy without explanation, praise without performance, love without conditions. This is what I am chosen for. All of it. Every expression of it. Every dimension and direction of it. I am chosen for overflow in the fullest, most complete, most gloriously abundant sense of that word. And I receive it now. I open my hands and my heart and my mind, and I receive it now. Not in theory, not someday, now. I want to speak for a moment about what blocks overflow, not to dwell there but to name it, to shine light on it, to dissolve it, because Florence Scovel Shinn was clear that the law is always working. The law does not take days off. The law does not forget your name. If overflow is not manifesting in a life, it is not because the law has stopped. It is because something in the consciousness is blocking the flow, and that something is almost always fear dressed up in many costumes. Fear dressed as practicality, fear dressed as wisdom, fear dressed as humility, fear dressed as caution, fear dressed as the voice that says, "Be reasonable, be realistic, do not hope too big, because the crash will be harder." I name these fears now. I call them by their true name. And their true name is not wisdom. Their true name is not humility. Their true name is doubt. And doubt is the only thing that can slow the movement of divine supply. Not stop it, slow it. Because the supply is always moving, always pressing against every closed door, always looking for the open channel, always searching for the ready receiver. And when I remove doubt, when I dissolve fear, when I stop the arguing with the infinite and start the aligning with it, the flow that was always there simply moves through me as it was always meant to. So, I dissolve the doubt now. I dissolve it, not by fighting it, not by shaming myself for having it, but by replacing it. Doubt is darkness, and I do not fight darkness with more darkness. I simply turn on the light. The light is this. I am chosen for overflow. The light is this. God is my source, and God has never failed. The light is this. What is mine by divine right is already formed in spirit, and what is formed in spirit always finds its way into the physical world. Always. Without exception. Without failure. Thanks for watching. The Provine Sign the Seti by Sign. The Provine Sign the Seti by Sign. The Provine Sign the Seti. The Provine Sign the Seti by Sign. Without the possibility of being ultimately withheld from the one it was prepared for. The light is on, and the doubt is dissolving, and I am standing in the light of overflow right now. I do not wait until I see it to believe it. I believe it, and then I see it. This is the order. This has always been the order. Faith first, evidence second. Not because the evidence is unimportant, but because faith is the substance, the actual spiritual material from which the evidence is formed. When I hold faith firmly and consistently, I am literally constructing the substance of what I desire in the invisible realm. And what is constructed in the invisible realm must appear in the visible realm. It is law. It is as certain as gravity, as reliable as sunrise, as unavoidable as breath. I hold my faith, and the overflow materializes. I hold my faith, and the more than enough appears. I hold my faith, and what I could not contain in my imagination turns up in my life so large and so lavish that all I can do is stand in it with wide open arms and say thank you. Thank you. I will say that word more than once before this speaking is done, because gratitude is not just a feeling. Florence knew that gratitude is a force. Gratitude is a magnet. Gratitude is a form of prayer so powerful that when it is spoken in genuine faith, it creates a field of attraction around the one who speaks it that draws good from every direction, from every source, through every channel, at every speed. When I give thanks, before I see the evidence, I am declaring to the universe that I know the evidence is coming. I am declaring that I trust the law. I am declaring that I have moved past begging and into receiving, past hoping and into knowing, past wanting and into welcoming. And that shift, that deep inner shift from wanting to welcoming, is the shift that changes everything. I welcome overflow now. I do not stand at the edge of my life hoping it might come visit. I throw open the doors of my consciousness, and I say, come in, overflow, come in, abundance. Come in, more than enough. This house is ready. This life is ready. This heart is ready. Come in and stay. Come in and fill every room. Come in and change the temperature of every space. Come in and make yourself so at home that when people come near me, they feel it. That warmth, that ease, that settled richness that radiates from someone who knows they are chosen and has stopped hiding from the choosing. Because that is what some of us have been doing. Hiding. Not from lack, though that is what it looks like on the surface. Hiding from abundance. Hiding from overflow. Because somewhere along the path, the world convinced us that big blessings were dangerous, that visible prosperity invites envy, that overflow attracts attack, that it is safer to stay small, to stay hidden, to stay just below the level where good things happen. Because at least down there, in the familiar landscape of not quite enough, there are no surprises. No one can take anything because there is nothing to take. But that logic is the logic of fear, and fear has never once protected a single soul from what it feared. Fear only draws the feared thing closer. Only love can cast out fear. Only truth can dissolve the lie. And the truth is, I was not created for smallness. I was not fashioned for hiding. I was not designed to crouch beneath the ceiling of just enough as though the ceiling were a protection. The ceiling is a prison, and I am walking out of it now. I am chosen for overflow, and I am no longer afraid of what that means. I am no longer afraid of the attention that abundance might bring. I am no longer afraid of the responsibility that more might require. I am no longer afraid of the growth that overflow will demand from me. Let it demand. I am ready. Let it stretch me. I welcome the stretching. Let it change me. I surrender to the change. Because a life of overflow is not a comfortable life, in the small sense of the word. It is a life that keeps expanding, and expansion is not always comfortable in the moment. But the discomfort of expansion is a completely different experience from the suffering of lack. The discomfort of growth is the feeling of becoming, and I choose becoming. I choose it fully, and I choose it now. What does overflow look like in my daily life? It looks like waking up in the morning with a sense of settled expectation. Not the tight, anxious expectation of someone who is waiting for good news from a source that might say no, but the open, peaceful expectation of someone who knows the source always says yes. Always says yes to my highest good. Always says yes to what has been prepared for me. Always says yes in ways that are greater and more gracious and more beautifully surprising than anything I could have arranged for myself. I wake up expecting. I move through my day expecting. I go to sleep still expecting. And the expecting is not exhausting because it is rooted in trust, not in control. I am not trying to make the overflow happen. I am simply staying open to receive it as it comes. Overflow looks like the unexpected call with the unexpected opportunity. Overflow looks like the check that arrives when I had run my calculations and thought I was short. Overflow looks like the open door at the end of the hallway I had decided was a dead end. Overflow looks like the right person appearing at the right moment with the right word that shifts everything. Overflow looks like a body that heals faster than the doctors expected, a mind that clears when clarity seemed impossible, a spirit that lifts when I had given it no good reason to lift. Overflow is divine activity moving through the channels of a life that has said yes to receiving. And I have said yes. I say yes now. I say yes again. Yes to the abundance. Yes to the more than enough. Yes to the overflow that is larger than my logic and more generous than my planning and more faithful than my most optimistic hope. Yes. Now I want to speak about receiving, because many of us have learned to give, but we have not learned to receive. We have been taught that giving is virtuous and receiving is selfish. We have been trained to deflect compliments, to minimize our needs, to refuse help with a smile and a wave that says, I am fine, I do not need anything, I am always fine. But this is not virtue. This is a closed fist held up against the gift. This is the door shut against the incoming blessing. This is the overflow, pressing from the invisible into the visible, and meeting a barrier of false humility, of trained smallness, of a consciousness that was taught it did not deserve the gift and believed the teaching. I unlearn that teaching now. I release the false humility. I release the trained smallness. I release the closed fist and the shut door. And the I am fine that means I will not receive. I open. I open fully. I open without apology. I open without shame. I open without the old voice that says, who do you think you are to receive this much? I know who I am. I am the one who was chosen. I am the one for whom this overflow was prepared. I am the one whose name is written on this blessing. And I receive it now with both hands open and my head lifted, and my heart full of gratitude for the source that prepared it, and the law that delivers it, and the grace that says none of it has to be earned. It only has to be received. Receiving is holy work. Receiving honors the giver. Receiving completes the circuit of divine circulation. When I refuse to receive, I do not look humble. I look faithless. I look like someone who does not believe the gift is real, who does not trust the giver, who is waiting for the catch, watching for the condition, half expecting the rug to be pulled out. And that waiting, that watching, that half expecting creates an energy that slows and distorts and blocks the very flow it is waiting on. So I stop it. I stop the waiting for the catch. I stop the watching for the condition. I stop the half expecting of disappointment. I replace it with full expecting of fulfillment. I replace it with complete trust in the source. I replace it with the settled knowing that the giver is good, and the gift is real, and the receiving is safe. I receive now. Overflow is mine now. More than enough is moving toward me now. What I could not contain if I tried is finding its way to me through channels that are already opening, through doors that are already unlocking, through people who are already being moved by the divine to cross my path at the right time, through ideas that are already forming in the invisible and will arrive in my mind like gifts wrapped in the thin paper of inspiration. I receive all of it. I receive with joy and peace and the deep, easy knowing of someone who stopped fighting the flow and started floating in it. I am chosen for overflow, and overflow does not just mean mine. Overflow means I have enough to give, enough to share, enough to bless the lives of others, and still not run short, because the source does not run short. When I live in overflow consciousness, I become a channel of blessing for everyone I encounter. The person who is struggling and needs an encouraging word receives it from me because I am full, and what is full naturally pours out. The cause that needs support receives it from me because I am not pinching pennies from an empty account, but freely giving from a supply that keeps replenishing. The community that needs someone to show up and serve finds me showing up and serving because I am not depleted and desperate. I am filled and flowing. I am chosen for overflow, so that overflow can move through me into the world and bless more than just my bank account. It blesses everyone in my sphere. It ripples outward from my life like water that cannot stop moving once it starts. I am a blessing because I have been blessed. I am a source because I am connected to the source. I am overflow because the source of all things is overflow, and I am one with that source. This is not pride, this is purpose. There is a profound difference. Pride says, I did this. Purpose says, this was done through me, by something greater than me, and I give thanks for being the channel through which it moves. I give thanks. I am the channel. I am the open, willing, grateful, expectant, faith-filled channel through which the overflow of the infinite moves into the world. What a calling, what a privilege. What an extraordinary, ordinary life this is. I want to speak now about time, because one of the great thieves of overflow consciousness is impatience. The feeling that it is taking too long, that by this age I should have had more, that others are further along, that the promise was given so long ago and the manifestation seems so far away. Impatience is fear in a hurry, and it does the same damage that all fear does. It contracts the consciousness. It narrows the channel. It makes the flow harder to receive because a tight, anxious mind cannot take in what a calm, open mind receives naturally. Divine timing is not slow. Divine timing is perfect. And perfect is not the same as fast. Perfect means exactly right. Right for my growth. Right for my readiness. Right for the full, complete, nothing missing expression of the overflow that is prepared for me. If it came too soon, I might not be able to hold it. If it came in the wrong form, I might not recognize it. If it came through the wrong channel, I might close the wrong door, trying to open the right one. Divine timing knows things I do not know. Divine timing sees around corners I cannot see around. Divine timing has arranged details I have no access to from where I am standing, and so I trust it. I trust it completely. I stop pacing in front of the door, checking my watch. I sit down in the peace of knowing it is coming, and I let the waiting be as beautiful as the receiving, because the waiting is not empty. The waiting is full of invisible preparation. The waiting is full of divine arrangement. The waiting is full of the deep, quiet work of the Spirit that is always, always, always working on my behalf. I trust the timing. I release the rush. I settle into the rhythm of grace. And in that rhythm, there is no lack. In that rhythm, even the waiting is abundance. Even the not yet is full of yes. Even the silence between the words is music. I am chosen for overflow, and the overflow arrives exactly when it is meant to arrive, and I am at peace with that. I am more than at peace. I am grateful for it, because the timing is the gift too. Not just the thing that arrives, but the moment in which it arrives, and the way I receive it, and the who I have become in the waiting, and the wisdom I carry because of the journey. All of it is overflow. All of it is the more than I can contain spilling into every moment of my life. Not just the spectacular moments, not just the breakthrough moments, but the quiet, ordinary, beautiful moments of a life that is held in grace and moving always toward its highest expression. I now speak to the overflow of health in my body. I declare my body is a divine instrument, and divine instruments are maintained by the hand that made them. Every cell in my body carries intelligence. Every organ knows its work. Every system functions in divine order. I do not speak disease over myself. I do not rehearse the worst case. I do not memorize the diagnosis as though it is the final word. The final word is always God's word. And God's word over my body is wholeness, is health, is vitality, is strength, is the overflow of life moving through every part of me and expressing as radiant physical well-being. I receive this. I declare this. I claim this. I bless every part of my body. I bless my heart and my lungs and my blood and my bones. I bless the systems I know about and the ones I do not. I bless the healing that is already happening at levels science is still learning to measure. My body is in overflow of health. More healing than I need is available to me. More vitality than I have yet expressed is waiting within me. I draw it forth. I speak it into my lived experience. I walk in the overflow of divine health now. I speak to the overflow of my relationships. I declare that the people in my life are blessed. I declare that the connections I form are deep and true and mutual. I declare that I am magnetic to kindred spirits, to those who see me, to those who honor what is in me, to those who speak life and not diminishment, who stand with me in the growth and not the shrinking. The overflow of love in my life is real, the overflow of genuine connection, of laughter, of understanding, of being truly known and truly welcomed. This is mine. I do not chase it. I radiate it. I radiate the love I wish to receive, and the law of return brings it back to me amplified and purified and exactly right. I am chosen for overflow in relationship. I am chosen for overflow in love. I speak to the overflow of creative gifts within me. There is more inside me than I have yet expressed. There are ideas I have not yet spoken, visions I have not yet captured, gifts I have not yet fully offered to the world. The overflow of divine creativity is moving through me right now. I am available to it. I say yes to it. I do not silence the creative impulse with practical objection. I do not talk myself out of the dream with the voice of impossible. I let the creativity flow. I let the vision expand. I let the gift come through me into the world in its fullest, most complete expression. The world needs what I carry. The world is waiting for what only I can bring. And I bring it now with confidence and joy, and the settled certainty that the gift is worthy, and the timing is right, and the overflow of my creative life is a blessing to everyone who encounters it. I am chosen for overflow, in every area, in every dimension, in every season. End quote. I want to speak one more time to the woman, to the man, to the person who is reading or hearing these words from a place of deep exhaustion. A place where the hoping has been long and the seeing has been little, and the gap between what was promised and what has appeared has felt so wide that crossing it seemed impossible. I want to speak to you directly, and I want to say this. Your exhaustion is real. Your weariness is not weakness. The long road was long. The waiting was real. I do not minimize any of it. But I speak this into your weariness now, with all the force of divine truth. You have not been forgotten. You have not been passed over. You have not been given a promise that cannot be kept. The choosing that happened before your birth has not been revised. The overflow that was prepared for you has not been reassigned. It is there. It is real. It is closer than it has ever been. And the only thing standing between you and the moment you step into it is this one choice: to believe again, to choose trust one more time, to lift your eyes from the long, hard road and fix them on the truth above the facts. And the truth is, you are chosen. The truth is, the overflow is real. The truth is, the best is not behind you. The truth is, the more than you can contain is gathering even now in the invisible, and it is looking for the moment of your believing to pour itself into your visible world with such force and such grace and such beauty that all you will be able to say is, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I give thanks now." Before I see it fully, before it is all visible and counted and confirmed, I give thanks now in the faith that sees with inner eyes what the outer eyes have not yet witnessed. I give thanks for the overflow that is already mine in spirit. I give thanks for the more than enough that is already formed in divine mind. I give thanks for the abundance flowing toward me right now through channels I know and channels I have not yet discovered. I give thanks for the health already moving in my body. I give thanks for the joy already rising in my spirit. I give thanks for the relationships already forming, the ideas already arriving, the money already moving, the doors already opening, the paths already clearing, the help already sent, the timing already set, the plan already complete. I give thanks. I give thanks. I give thanks. And in this gratitude, in this deep and genuine and unwavering gratitude, something shifts in me. Something permanently shifts. The door opens fully. The channel widens. The flow that was already pressing now moves freely, and what I feel in this moment is not the tension of lack waiting to be filled, but the peace of overflow already arriving. And I open my hands, and I receive it, and I let it come, and I let it be more than I expected, and I let it be more beautiful than I planned, and I let it be more complete than I could have arranged, and I let it be exactly what was prepared for me, and not one drop less. I am chosen for overflow, not just enough, not barely sufficient, not almost enough to get by. I am chosen for the flood. I am chosen for the wave. I am chosen for the open sky, pouring down upon the open earth and filling every vessel, and running over and filling the next vessel, and the next, and the next, until the whole landscape is changed, and there is nowhere in sight where the overflow has not reached and touched and transformed. This is my life. This is the truth of my life. This is the word I speak over my life, and the word is law, and the law is already working, and the working is already done in the perfect invisible realm of spirit, and the done is already becoming visible, and the visible is already more than I can contain. I am chosen for overflow. I receive this truth. I live in this truth. I speak from this truth. I am settled in this truth. I am at peace in this truth. I am home in this truth. And it is enough, more than enough, overflowing, now and always, and in every good and perfect way. So it is. So it is. So it is.